Welcome, everyone. This is Afshan at Streaming Truth, and we are live. And today I'm going to be talking about Ali Majd. He's an Iranian who was literally inside of Iran during that 48-hour blackout where the regime slaughtered upwards of tens of thousands, maybe 40, 50,000 or more people, unarmed civilians that were protesting. And this is going to be about Ali Majd's story. He escaped from Iran during that time, and he tells his story. We'll get into him in a minute, but welcome to the stream. And this is going to be focusing in on Iran for a little bit. I just want to share a little bit about that song that you just heard in the intro, one of my all-time favorite Persian songs. And it basically, the name of the song is Vatanam, Vatanam, which means my country, or my, really in the true sense, my homeland. So it's you see these images of the former Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Shah, pre-1979, before the Islamic Revolution destroyed a country. And you saw some of those images, how powerful those images are of having someone like the Shah compared and contrasted to these mullahs, these ayatollahs, the Islamic Republic inside of Iran. So I love that song. I love the images behind it. I love seeing Iran in what looked like modern times, pre-1979. As you see what the women were like, you know, not wearing headscarves or head coverings or the hijab and any of that. We'll get into all of that. But really, the purpose of today's stream is to share from this Iranian. He's an actual Iranian who escaped from Iran, is currently hiding out in Iraq, named Ali Majd. And he's also Christian, and I just want to give him a shout out. If he is somehow just comes across this broadcast and is listening, just want you to know that Americans and Persian Americans like myself living in the USA are praying for you. We have been touched by your story and your interview that you did. And so we're going to cover that interview. And I'm going to just he'll share himself really, you know, the purpose of this was to give him a voice today and to let his message ring out. And so we'll play that interview and we'll take a look at that. But let's go ahead and let me just share this screen here. All right, so this is an interview that Ali Majd did with Arise. And so I just want to give them a shout out for doing this and give them credit where credit is due. With Arise and Mansour Ashkar and the JCZC podcast. So I should actually subscribe to these guys so you guys do the same. And also there is the channel of Ali Majd. I'm already subscribed. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to him as well. As you can see, he does not look like a Muslim. You know, a Muslim man living in Iran would look quite different. And of course, the women there would look quite different as well. But let's go ahead and, you know, now that I've introduced them, be sure to subscribe to this channel as well. It does help us on future live streams. But again, I hope you enjoyed the song. In the beginning, I do want to share some of the personal, cultural things that surround the big and great topic of Iran. But before I do that, let's just really dive into the message. And so this is episode 28 from the guys I just shared. Hope you guys can all see the screen. I'm just going to maximize it. And I'm mainly just going to let this speak for itself. I might stop here and there and interject when it's appropriate, minimally. And what we're going to do, if I can, since it's an hour interview. The whole thing is great. I recommend watching the whole thing. I'm going to play it back at 1.2 speed just to shave about 20 minutes on there and give me time for a little bit of commentary when it's appropriate. All right, so here we go. And God God bless. Pray for Ali, and let's listen to his message.
There's a war taking place in Iran, and we want to know what's going on. We're here with Ali, who very much resembles Drogo from Game of Thrones. We thought, who better to hear about the situation in Iran, who better to hear from than an Iranian? We hear a lot about it in the West, on the news. We hear a lot about it on social media. But we believe that the best people to tell us what is actually happening on the ground are the people that are on the ground. So Ali, welcome.
Before he gets into it, I'm going to stop here and there. That's such a great point he makes, a simple point. But, people like myself who are the Persian diaspora, that, the Persian diaspora where we left, my family left Iran in 1978 or so. It was just a few months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year before the revolution took place in Iran. So this is a very personal story to me. But what I always notice is that we're going to get to Ali. Ali, if you're watching, just hang on, brother. And I just, again, go subscribe to his channel. But, it's personal to me because of that. But what I always hear from people like liberals or other people who are against the Iran war will come and try to give me be against it or talk for the people in Iran. How much more to hear from somebody who's actually in Iran? So I don't want to interject too much. Let's get right into it.
Thank you for being here.
Hello to everyone. Thank you so much to giving me a chance, an opportunity to be my people's voice. Thank you so much for having me now, and hope to have a good conversation here.
And Mansour, we have Mansour Ashgar. Mansour is a good friend and just a very unique and special voice. Drew's background, Special Forces, IDF, Israeli, just badass, everything. So Mansour, we're really always happy to have you and just a good friend. And so
pleasure. Notice that as an Iranian here, he salutes the IDF guy. Guys, there's a huge history between Iran, Persia, the ancient Persia, and the Jews, King Cyrus, King Darius, and also even during World War II, Iran was harboring Jews from the Nazis. So there's a great historical friendship between Persians and Jews, and you'll be surprised to know that many people inside of Iran are pro-Israeli. And we'll talk a little bit more about that why, but let's continue.
Here's mine.
Ali, I'd like to start with you just sharing your story a little bit. I know you had a gym in Iran, but I'm going to let you tell your story. And please just share what's happened leading up to the events that are taking place in Iran right now, a little bit about your personal life. And even you can share, if you like, where you are right now, maybe not specifically, but what's happening in your life right now.
Actually, so I'm a normal person from a normal family, from normal people inside Iran. I was a coach, trainer in Iran. And I raised in Iran. I never have an experiment to get out from Iran because of the lack of a passport. Because IRGC, there's a rule inside Iran. You have to serve 2 years for IRGC to get a passport. You have to get their trust. And I never trust them. I was always fighting against their beliefs, their ideology from my childhood until now. I was always a rebel, having a long hair, having tattoos, and like that is not good in an Islamic regime. They will hate you. And I was hate them too. And so many people like me, we cannot accept their ideology, their beliefs, and everything like that. And
real quick, guys, notice it's the ideology and the beliefs, because the country of Iran is run by Shia Muslim radical cult, basically. It's a blood cult, it's a death cult, it's a violent cult. And the people inside Iran, notice that he is just a regular guy. That's the thing about Ali that I love. He's just a regular guy. He owns a gym in Iran, or I don't know where, not obviously now that's all disrupted, but, just a regular guy. And he represents the vast majority of people in Iran, so keep that in mind. We'll get to that in a minute.
I was one man like the others, like the other of my generation who didn't accept them and who want to fight against them in every possible way. And we were always fighting against them. I remember the first uprising in Iran. I was a kid. I was in my I was 8 or 7 in Green Revolution. You can get information about that uprising.
The Green Revolution, if you guys remember a girl named Neda, she was a college protester, and she was protesting the regime at the time because there was fake elections with former President Ahmadinejad of Iran. He was put in and placed in like they always are. There's no vote inside of Iran, not a true vote. And especially back then, and really the whole time, but he was put in over the so-called moderate candidates that wanted to run, and that sparked a revolution that's called the Green Revolution in Iran. And there's a young girl named Neda, and I just remember, some of you may have remember this, it's quite a while ago, but one of the first popular uprisings or major ones that took notice. But she was shot by a Islamic regime sniper. And there's just videos of her like bleeding out. I mean, it was like really, really sad. But that's what he's talking about with former President Ahmadinejad.
Inside Tehran, the majority of people inside Tehran, they start uprising against the regime in Ahmadinejad's time. The man is famous about, he was ignoring the Holocaust. And we inside Iran, we hate that president. And we elect the other man, but Khamenei, in that time, he supports Ahmadinejad, and they didn't care about people's chosen president. So we start uprising against the regime. I remember that time so good. And the majority, maybe all the people, and they
when you say majority, and you say you're a normal Iranian, and you're the majority, but just so that our viewers and listeners can understand, what percentage of people in Iran feel the way that you do about Ahmadinejad, about the regime in Iran? What percentage would you say?
5% of the people inside Iran, they are from regime and IRGC, and 90% of people inside Iran, they hate the regime.
I want you guys to get this, because according to Ali, he's a regular guy inside of Iran from within. He's just escaped to Iraq. From his point of view, 90 to 95% are anti-regime. He said 5% are pro-regime, 5%. And so because there's a narrative out there that, there's a lot of pro-IRGC, there's people that are for the regime, that are for the Islamic Republic, are out in the streets with the flags, and they're supporting their government. But those are the paid protesters. Kind of like, think about like George Soros hiring, whatever paid protesters through all the various organizations that he funds with their made up signs. And, these are paid, organized protests for the regime that you're seeing. And even if not all of them are paid, when you have a country of 9 million people, 90 million people, and 10% of them support the regime, that's still 9 million people. If it's 5%, maybe, just under 500,000. And they're concentrated in certain areas where they can go and support the regime. But representatively, like everyone I know inside of Iran, I have family there, I have friends there, are anti-regime. And really, I shouldn't say that, because that, this is one of the reasons that it's difficult to even talk about this, because there are people in the Persian diaspora who have been silenced for 47 years, because you're always afraid if like you say something and what happens to people inside. But it's gotten to the point now where we are at it's like now or never kind of a moment. Like, this is the final battle, as they say in one of the popular songs in the Iranian Revolution right now. And so it's time, man. It's time to bring down this regime. But let's continue.
Let me be clear. 95% of population inside Iran, I'm sure about that, because I'm 30 years old. I traveled everywhere inside Iran all my life because of lack of passport. There wasn't any other choice for me to go to another country, any other place. I was traveling every city, every county, every village inside Iran, and I know all Persians, I know all Iranians. 95% of population inside Iran, they hate the regime. It's not just about disagree. It's hating. They hate them.
Why?
Notice too, it's such a good point. It's not that we disagree with them ideologically. Like people in Iran, they hate the Islamic Republic. Okay, we want that government disbanded, gone, dispersed. We want a democratic government.
Why do they hate them? You've already mentioned some, and I think I know obviously some of the answers to that, but I'd like to hear it from you. And you've mentioned some of what it was like to live there. I did not know that in order to get a passport, you had to volunteer for the IRGC for 2 years. I've never heard that before. So things like that are so important.
And that's a quick distinction on that. In order to get a passport, you have to serve military service, basically. It's mandatory military service, and you either can. It's not from what I understand. It's not up to you whether you do the IRGC or the regular army, but they're different. There's the regular army, which is the Artish, and that's like the regular People's Army, which is still run by the government. But then you've got the IRGC's own army, and so it's kind of like a lottery, or you sign up, you have to sign up, you have to go through your military service, and you might have to serve under the IRGC or the regular Artish military.
Important for the world to hear. What is it like to actually live there? What has it been like since 79 and the revolution and all this? Why do over 90% of Iranians hate the regime?
Yeah, so many reasons. I think Mansour's asked me this question, and I said, Mansour, there is thousands of reasons. I cannot count for you to all the reasons that why we are hating them. There is so many reasons, but to the toppest levels, that they are so corrupted, leaders, so corrupted. People are suffering inside Iran because of the economic collapse inside my country, but leaders are living in palaces, and their children, they didn't believe in anything. They didn't use hijab. They didn't understand our pressure in our lives about economy, about you cannot find a job in Iran, the economy collapse and everything like that, but they are living in palaces and like that. So
Scott Bessent had a little bit to do with that. The U.S. Treasury Secretary did talk about, right before the bombing started, putting pressure on their economic system through U.S. dollar manipulation or something to really to just push the economy over the edge.
And every rule is just about the people, not for their leaders' families and their friends. They are like oligarchies like Russia. It's right now in my country. Yeah, some families are controlling whole country, and yeah, you have to do this, do that, but they didn't care and they didn't believe in all of them. They just using them for controlling people. And the other reason is they hate our history and our culture. I'm a Persian. I know my history, and Americans love our culture and our history. All the people around.
Why do they hate it? Why do they hate it?
Because in my culture, we love Jews. Yeah, we have a good background in our history with Jews.
Wow.
Again, he mentions the how that symbiotic relationship between the Persians and the Jews. Biblically, historically, you had King Cyrus, you had King Darius, who was the king of the Medes. You had the Persians, and the Medes were very closely related as well. And so he's just, there's that history. And it's just amazing what a pro-Jewish ally or pro-Israeli ally Iran would be if this regime was gone. And that would be a stabilizing force in the region, like Reza Pahlavi, the former crown prince, talks about. But let's continue.
Hates Iranian and Persian culture, I should say.
We have zero conflict in our history. And we were always living peacefully together. Iran is the Israelis' second house in history. You can find so many Jews right now in Iran, right now, even in IRGC government, because we have so many same traditions. And if you go to Tehran and then go to Tel Aviv, you can see so many similarities, even in the faces, even, the people all look like each other from so many things. But that's the reason that they hate our history. They want to tell us, they're trying to make Islam for our history, not our own history. Like when we go to learn history, they teach us Muhammad's history, that, Muhammad fight against the Jews in that conflict. Okay, that's Arab's history. And that's not our information about our ancestors' history. And
that's a really important point, because a lot of people still don't realize that Iranians, Persians are not Arab. Like it's a very distinct culture and history, again, rooted back into biblical relationships and historical relationships between the Persians and the Jews. And Iran also, you know, King Cyrus was like one of the maybe the first that had the cylinder of human rights, you know, at least from like a big kingdom perspective. So he was one of the first humanists, secularists, in a sense, and very pro-friendly to the Jews and all religions, and having a sense of tolerance in a way. But they want to teach Arabic in Iran. Iranians don't speak Arabic, they speak Farsi. So there's a resentment there of Islamization of the Persian culture. And so the regular people like Ali, they really hate this culture, or not the culture, but the regime, as he mentioned.
And yeah, that's
what do they teach in schools there? Do they teach you your Persian history, or is that handed down through family generations, or do they teach you that Arab Muslim history? What do they actually teach in the schools? Right. That's all they teach in school.
Every detail about Arab Muslims, they will teach to the children in the schools. And we have a special book of just teaching Quran. We have a special book just teaching the hadith. We have another book for teaching the Arabic language. Oh, come on. I don't like to learn Arabic. I don't like that. And I don't need that. Arabs are learning English right now, but you're trying to teach us Arabic for what? That's so clear. You know, Khamenei born in Iraq. He's an Arab. He's Iraqi.
I have a question. I have two questions for you, actually. You mentioned that are there any Jews right now living in Iran that are openly saying I'm Jewish, or no more?
They call themselves as Kalimis inside Iran, and there are so many people inside Iran, the Iranian Jewish people, but they get controlled so hard by government. After Ahmadinejad time, so many of them left Iran, but there is still, you can find Jews in Iran. I'm from Luristan.
Guys, it used to be in Iran, there are Kalimi. That's what he's talking about, means Jews, Jewish in Farsi, not Arabic. Again, different language, Farsi, Arabic, two different languages, but Kalimi is Jew in Farsi. And there used to be something like 100,000 Jews or so inside of Iran before 1979, before the Islamic Revolution. Today, there's like maybe 10,000. So that population in Iran, the Jewish population, has shrunk, you know, dramatically. They also had to escape from this hostile regime. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to this.
And from Elam, and you can find in Burjat city so many Jewish people, and the local people loves them because they teach them to how to trading. We have that in our background.
That makes sense. That makes sense, because I have a friend in Europe that actually, she's Jewish, hidden identity, but she has a family in Iran. The second question is, watching right now all these daughters of the Ayatollahs and the IRC generals, you know, in America, driving flashy cars, you know, going on yachts, private jets, bikinis,
partying.
You know,
partying. It's going wild.
And then in Iran, I'm watching videos of young girls being kidnapped with a van in the middle of the street, and then they go and then they get tortured, to throw acid on their face, or even hanged. Are the Iranian people aware of that? Like a father right now that had his daughter been kidnapped because she dared to, you know, show her hair or just, you know, not believe in Islam. Does he know that the daughters of the man who hung his daughter are living right now in London, in France, in LA, and living the best life over the stolen money from Iran? Are the Iranians aware of that?
Yeah, they know that because they just posted the half-naked photos in their pages. They didn't fear anything. They didn't care about people. They know that.
Hypocrisy.
They know, and people know. All of us know our situation. They have guns, and they are ruling. They have guns. They have power, and they just do whatever they want.
That's a big problem. You know, Iran doesn't have the Second Amendment. Every nation that doesn't have the Second Amendment is being overrun by either tyrannical governments or by Islam. So think about that.
Like, yeah, that's us. So you dare?
Aren't they ashamed? Like, aren't they like, they go in the street now and people look at them like, like everybody knows that these are their daughters. They're not hiding.
You cannot see them in the streets of Iran. You can just find them in LA or in Paris, London, good places. They're not living in Iran. No one of them.
But their parents are living in Iran.
Their parents are living in Iran.
And thank God for the Trump administration and Marco Rubio for deporting some of these people. He's talking about Soleimani's daughter, his daughter, who lives here in the USA. This was the general that President Trump killed in his first term, assassinated, which thank God, that guy was a really, really evil, wicked guy. So Trump has been at this for longer than we realize. You even go back into his speeches from the 80s and 90s, he talks about Iran.
Special places in special areas just belongs to IRGC people and families. You cannot find them in normal places like where we live. They're just protecting themselves against the people because they know that people hates them.
So they have one standard that they apply to the people of Iran, but it does not apply to them or their own offspring or their own families. So Ali, I know that you went viral with a video. I'd like you to share the events that led up to that moment. And I know that you've had to flee. If you're comfortable, I'd love for you to just share a little bit about that. We will be very cautious about how we share that, but I'd love for you to just share your story and your perspective leading up to this war, and then your story, what's happened since then, what's going on.
The first video that I upload, I'm sending two messages in that time. I'm trying to be the voice of my people in that videos, in two different videos. In one in Farsi, I'm telling that Mr. Ali Khamenei, as an Iranian, I will not accept you. You're not my leader. I cannot accept your policies. I cannot accept your actions, everything about you. I cannot accept you as my leader anyway in Farsi. And that's a suicide in Iran.
That's very dangerous to say that publicly.
You cannot talk to your holy leader like that.
Well, and thank God Ali Khamenei was, his head got blown off the very first bombing of Iran. And people rejoice over that.
Iran, they will execute you in a second. And in the other video, I'm asking for help from Donald Trump. And look what happened from that time. Khamenei dead, and Trump attacks my country. So
I'm telling you, people inside of Iran, they want this war. They want to be freed from the IRGC oppressors, right? As sad as any civilian casualties are, and as much as war is hell, it's that the people inside, this is their only hope for freedom and from getting out of this Islamic cult that runs their government.
After that time until now, the people are so happy. The IRGC is in the weakest point of maybe in all these 47 years. They are in the weakest point now, and it's easy for United States and Israel to finish them. I think that's the golden time for finishing them forever. And
guys, sorry, I don't want to keep stopping it. I want to move forward, but it's so important to understand that what Trump has done, even if Trump was to walk away now, which I don't hope he does, but even if he were to walk away, he has done so much damage to the Islamic Republic that, they're so weakened. This is the weakest they've ever been. All it takes now is for Israel to go in and finish the job, potentially, or for to give them an opportunity in a window for them to rise up and for the people to come out and take over their government.
From the Iranian perspective, what led to the protests and what led to this war? And then what happened? What was the regime response to that? Because we're hearing a lot in the news, we're seeing it on social media, but we don't get to hear directly from Iranians very often.
Yeah, the problem is you have thousands of problems with them. But as I said, the economy collapses for the people, but the golden palaces is for the leaders and their children. They said we care about Palestinians, but they killed Palestinians. The problem about Iran and Iranian leader like right now, the problem that people have with them are they're just puppets. They're just puppets for China and Russia. And they use Palestinians as a reason to fight against West for East.
Yeah, guys, and the thing is, Iranians are not for Palestine. They hate Hamas because it's the IRGC or the Islamic Republic that pays Hamas to come and oppress the people there. So a lot of times, the Iranian maybe police or secret police or the Basij, as evil as they are, might not want to completely kill their own people. So they bring in outside mercenaries from like Hamas, Hezbollah, all the proxies. They're the ones that go and mow down the people.
In this region. That's all. That's so simple. Hamas is getting taught and paid by IRGC. They are just some corrupt, evil leaders, and they are fighting against United States and Israel. And we, people of Iran, we are losing our lives, our hope, our freedom, our future, our culture, our history, everything. Even we have water crisis in.
That's a genocide, erasing the culture of the true Iranian people. It's Islamic occupation of Iran is the one that is causing a mass genocide, in a sense, historical, cultural genocide.
Iran, they are just some idiots. They cannot manage the water. They cannot do anything right. They just know two things: selling the resources to China and buying military things from China and Russia. That's it.
Yeah, you guys know Iran is running out, or Tehran is running out of water. They're having a water crisis, telling people to ration their water. Even the Pezeshkian, the Iranian president, came out and publicly told people to ration.
Nothing more. And enjoy their times and their lives in their golden palaces and killing thousands and thousands and thousands of people so easy, because you can see that they're killing people and no one else, except United States and Israel, no one stood against them. You can see European countries. they're right now,
Keir Starmer's not going to help.
Look like they're allies of IRGC than United States in this conflict.
Sounds.
Real quick, the only thing one thing that we noticed from this is that we actually got Arab allies that have stepped up, but our allies in the West have not stepped up, right? They're turning against the US and they're going ultra liberal, a neoliberal, ultra socialist, left-leaning, and getting into that Islamic Marxist nexus that is so prevalent among the left. But then we see Arab states, Iran attacked Dubai and all the different Arab states, Saudi Arabia. And so they're not very happy with Iran right now.
Sounds like Hamas in a way, when you think about it. Hamas, Israel disengaged. They gave them Gaza greenhouses, watering pipes. They've been receiving billions of dollars. All they did with that is they destroyed their country, kept their people poor and miserable, and just bought weapons that brought destruction on them. And in Iran, we're seeing the same thing.
Did you guys know that? I hate to keep stopping it, but did you guys know that there was a time when Palestine and the Israel situation, Israel gave back Gaza to the Palestinians during the time of the PLO, and they left them greenhouses. These were high-tech, like 1,000 acres of greenhouses. And instead of using that to, building on that, they destroyed it. And they just bought their rockets to shoot back into Palestine again, or to shoot back into Israel again.
Thing, only in a bigger scale. Same thing. One of the most, literally, it's one of the richest countries in the world in terms of natural resources and beauty. And it's one of the poorest countries right now, and one of the most miserable countries. And who to blame? There's one leadership there, and that is the Islamic Republic. So, very much like Hamas.
So the Iranian people took to the streets. You've had enough, right? You had enough of all of this. You're sick of the hypocrisy. You're sick of the, devastation, the lack of freedom, the stealing of your culture, the stealing of your resources. So how did people organize to take those streets? What made those things happen? What was it like to be there in those moments?
People in that time, the last uprising started in my region, in Lorestan. And after a week, Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi calling for uprising from people, and the majority of Persians everywhere in every city. I was fleeing in that time from IRGC agents. In that time, I just upload my video 2 days before that. So when he calling for people, I was moving in the cities and trying to hide myself from agents. I was watching the situation in every city, and I see every street was full of people. And I see that some agents comes with AKs, sometimes Dushka. They start shooting at people. You were able to hear shooting from all the night to the morning, every city.
Guys, first of all, Reza Pahlavi. He shout out to Reza Pahlavi. He is the only solution in Iran. And people really need to understand this. The son of the Shah, the crown prince in exile, he is the only solution to the Iran problem. We need to get, I just want to make sure people understand that he's the only name that's being chanted among the Iranian protesters. And when Ali talks about seeing in every city this uprising, there were like 1 million people across the country, like hundreds of thousands in some cities that rose up. And this was during that 48-hour blackout. The Islamic regime, they will black out the internet. Like they can shut it down and restrict it heavily to state media only or to approved sites. But in this case, in that 48 hours, it was a complete blackout. And they do that so they can hide what they're doing to the people. And so this is what he's describing when they came out with these military-grade machine guns. And just, like if you think like ICE is bad, and they're not bad, but you just compare that, doing their job, doing some against, illegals who shouldn't be here, and they're not like mowing them down with a machine gun, but if you think, you think that's bad, if you're like on the left side or something, this was military grade machine guns to unarmed protesters.
Every street.
Simon, if you know, Dushka is like a heavy machine gun that is mounted on a
heavy
pickup
machine
truck
guns.
usually.
Yeah.
They use it to take down, vehicles, and if you shoot it on humans, it will shred them. That's like a very
Exactly.
heavy
Like a
machine
50?
gun. Like a
Exactly.
50 cal on a pickup truck.
Did
Yeah, that's a
you
Dushka.
see the clips about Hashd al-Shabi's militias entering Iran?
The Iraqi guy.
2 days ago. Did you see the Dushka carriers? Do you think, Mansour, they're using Dushkas against what now in this situation? They bring Dushkas inside Iran for what?
They're
for
not
what?
against the F-35s. Yeah.
They want to fight with Dushka against your jets. They bring Dushka for the people. And you can see how many Dushka carrier are coming inside my country just 2 days ago. And they use them for people, not for enemy. They are so good. They are so good in killing people. They know that's easy for them. They're like robots. They have no feeling.
Guys, I just wanted to share what it looks like with the Dushka, like these military grade machine guns. Like here it is on a truck. They mount it. That's blocking the view. Hang on. Let me go back to that. Can you see it on this? You see this? You've got this truck here. This was inside of Iran. This is even from the BBC News Persian. So it's not, I'm not saying like, hey, BBC is like mainstream and they're not always like for the right side. But at least you could trust that it's like this happened. And this is like inside of Iran. They just mount them on these trucks. And these are military grade machine guns that they use to just mow down the people. All right, let's go back.
That's so easy for them to killing thousand. They didn't care. They have some ideological thoughts. And yeah, they're just terrorists. That's so easy for them to killing innocent people. And each city just needs 10 Dushkas.
Guys, people inside Iran aren't afraid to call them terrorists and to call it out for what it is.
That's enough for controlling all the city. You
They've
can
killed,
control.
they've killed tens of thousands of people. Like for the people back home to understand, that's an amount of a village been massacred, like tens of thousands. Some are saying 40 all the way up to 100, correct?
Absolutely. More than 40,000 that's 2 days. Just 2 days, 40,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just in 2 days. And not before that, and not after that, Mansour. And it's not about the executions. It's just about people who get shot in the streets. Not people
In
who get
2
killed
days.
in the hospitals or get executed in the prisons. That will be more than 100,000.
Ali, help us understand the mentality of Iranians at this point. For you to make these videos, knowing that your life is going to be in danger, and then you go underground, and when the uprising is starting, you're already in hiding for days. I know that the demonstrations are still taking place, so they're coming in and just mowing people down in the streets, but the people of Iran are still courageously taking to the streets. And I think that's just something I'm trying to get down to the human part of this so people can feel this. We don't know what that's like in the West. We can't even begin to fathom what your entire life has been like. We live in a society that's free. We can criticize our government at any moment. We have, there's corruption in our government, just like there is in every government. But when you compare it to what has happened in Iran, since 1979 and the revolution, there really is no comparison to what your people have been through, where they've tried to wipe out your entire culture and your entire history and replace it with something completely different. And now the people of Iran have had enough.
Yeah.
And I want the world to my biggest goal for this was just to give you and your people a voice. What is it? We can't even understand that mentality of what would cause a young 30-year-old, good-looking guy like you that had a gym, just living a normal life, doing everything you could to live a normal life, and you're ready to go with your friends and your loved ones and your family and stand in front of machine guns. We can't even put our mind around that. What is the mentality there? And where is it going from here?
Yeah. I want to give you an imagination about how life is in Iran right now. As a father, you cannot feed your children. As a husband, you cannot buy clothes for your wife. There is no life. I mean, we cannot live normally in Iran. The majority, that 95% that I said, they cannot live normally with a normal future. I mean, they have nothing to lose, brother.
Right.
They have nothing to lose. At least you can get killed with honor than live like not a human. I don't know what I can call that life, but there is no future, no normal life, sicknesses. People are starving right now. They destroyed everything. You have no access to power. The water crisis begins in Iran. Economic collapse. What? You give me one reason to live normally in Iran. One reason. For what? Live for what? You're just watching suffering people, suffering everyone from this hell. They make Iran like a hell for its people. So it's a good opportunity to fight against them. And, you can read our history. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about my history, my people. They're courage enough to risk their lives. You can see that in history, how many times Persians risked their lives to fight against Mongols, to fight against Arabs, to fight against everyone who occupied their land. So many times. We don't talk Arabic like.
Real quick, somebody in the chat, and we'll continue in just one sec, they asked how many different factions are targeting IRGC security forces. I would say it's probably a good many, but the only one that I'm really aware of, besides Mossad and internal people that are inside like that, there is Mossad inside of Iran, and the people welcome them, and Persians like me are happy that they're helping with this situation, despite whatever your views on that. But the only one I'm really aware of, resistance groups, there are little other smaller ones too, but the Immortal Guard. The Immortal Guard is they're kind of the protectorate of the Shah, of the crown, of the former Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. Even though Pahlavi himself isn't saying he wants to be king. What he's saying is that he wants to lead Iran in a transitional government unto a secular democracy. And so it's like a 2-year plan once he gets back into power, and we're praying that he does. Pray for that. But once he gets back into power, about a 2-year transition to give the people the vote to choose their own government, not only their own leaders, but their own form of government, and to give that power back to the people. So, but as far as I know, it's the Immortal Guard are the ones that protect Reza Pahlavi and the concept of the crown. And Pahlavi he disclosed earlier, before this war began, that he's been secretly recruiting people from the regular army, the Artish, into the Immortal Guard. So they're defectors and members of the IRGC who've defected to the Immortal Guard. Then you've got like your local militias and regular people that also join. They're the good guys. Okay, so at least at this stage, I pray that they just take over from the IRGC and bring Pahlavi back to Iran. So he is the only true leader, in my opinion, of Iran, and Javid Shah Pahlavi. All right, let's get back to the interview.
like Egyptians, because we start uprising against the Arabs. And now we are talking Farsi. I'm from that generation, and we are from that generation. We are different. We cannot accept them. We will fight against them, and we will finish them. I promise to you. They are not tougher than Mongols, than the Arabs in the last centuries. And we will finish them soon or late. We will risk our lives to get our freedom and our culture back.
That's helpful. You know, and I want to say, as an American, I want to talk to that neo-isolationist voice, you know, that's starting to become prevalent here in the West, and, you know, the Dave Smiths of the world, and, you know, this America only disgusting mentality that's infiltrated even the conservative parties here in the United States. It's the height of entitlement to say.
Guys, what I want to say about that, there's a huge difference between America First, which I am, you know, America First and MAGA versus America Only. There's a big distinction, and we really have to be aware of that. There's a huge segment of isolationists or non-interventionalists, which I do fully get. Like, I understand, like, we don't want to be caught up in endless wars. And, you know, I get all that. We have a lot of domestic problems, but at the same time, like, we have to be strategic. There are like some wars that are justified, that are necessary. All war is evil, but some wars are necessary. But let's get back. I just wanted to point that out, that, you know, don't be America Only, be America First, but we still have a greater responsibility to, you know, our neighbor, and our just mankind, our fellow man.
Say that we should only pile good on our own people, and to think that, you know, we have it so bad, and then to listen to stories like this where families, husbands can't provide for their wives, they can't provide for their children, you don't even have clean drinking water, you have no opportunity to advance, and the enormous amount of wealth that is coming out of Iran and being, you know, piled, you know, on China and Russia and these other entirely corrupt totalitarian regimes, and the hypocrisy of the government in Iran. If you can listen to a voice like Ali's and not be moved to try to help and want to bring freedom, then shame on you. Shame on you. If you're willing to just pile, you know, freedoms and goodness and lavish lifestyles and privileges on yourself and your family, if that's you and that's your voice, I think that's the least American you can be.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know gas prices are there's like a blip in the gas prices. They're a little bit high right now, and people are hurting from that. But it's like, guys, this is temporary. There's like an existential threat here from the Islamic Republic, as they don't just want to rule Iran, they want to rule everywhere. And their goal under the Shia religion is to bring back their Mahdi, which different stream, different topic. But let's get back to this.
I think that's the least Christian you could be. I think it's the least Judeo-Christian you can be. If you stop caring about other people around the world and their suffering, and you're not willing to play a role in helping them get free, then shame on you. Remember, America First, not America Only. And Ali, you know, there are so many people I know here in the West that feel exactly how I feel, just so you know. You don't hear probably a lot in the news about it, and but I still think it's the majority of Americans, and as demonstrated, you know, by the actions taken, at least by this administration. So we're cheering you on. I'd love for you to tell us about your life since then. What's happening? Like, you've risked it all, and now where are you? What are you going through?
Yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm Christian, and first I have to tell, I know Americans and the most Christian country. I know Americans and the most Christian country in the world. The real Christianity, I think, it's in the United States now. And as a Christian, I want to talk to Christians inside United States. Your sisters and brothers in Christ in IRGC, Occupy land, they are get executed by this regime. And we are brothers and sisters. You have to help them. That's your responsibility as Christians. I'm Christian. If I was right now in Iran, there is just one reason to.
Guys, this is why I wanted to share this stream. You know, I was really hesitant to even talk about Iran because, like I said, I was born in Iran. I moved to the United States when I was 5 years old in like 1978 or so, just shortly before the Islamic Revolution. My family migrated here, and I became a U.S. citizen when I was 18 years old. I'm fully MAGA, and you know, I'm thankful for President Trump. But yeah, I mean, it's just an important issue here that we need to understand.
Get killed by them. If you change your religion from Islam to Christianity.
Oh, I'm sorry. And that's why I wanted to share this, because as a Christian, I lost my train of thought for a second. As a Christian, I felt like I didn't want to talk about this because of the sensitivity, but as a Christian, I felt compelled to share this because this is a Christian brother in the Lord, right? And what I want to invite the people of the Persian diaspora all around the world is to do like your little part. Even if, if Ali is willing to go and risk his life to face down machine guns, like he's had his friends killed. He's hiding out in another country. He's inside Iraq right now. He had to illegally escape Iran and go through the border. I think it was the Kurds in Iraq or on the Iran border in that area that helped him escape. If he can do that, like we can do a video, we can tell our friends, we can do something. So even though like a lot of us don't want to talk about it because it's highly personal and it's dangerous for some, it's really the least we can do from the safety of the USA. So again, it's now or never.
Christianity, they will kill you immediately, and everyone born Muslim.
Let me rewind that one sec.
That's your responsibility as Christians. I'm Christian. If I was right now in Iran, there is just one reason to get killed by them. If you change your religion from Islam to Christianity, they will kill you immediately. And everyone born Muslim. That's not by your choice. That's government choice. You get an ID, okay? They will not ask your family. They will put Muslim in your ID. Wow. And if you will change that and you became Christian, you will be killed by them. So you're Christians.
Yeah, guys, like if I went back to Iran, like I went back to Iran before I was a Christian. I went when I was 18 years old and I got saved when I was 21. But if I were to go back to Iran, they would just detain me at the airport and like that would be it. I would be gone. So he's right. Like if you convert there's serious persecution of Christians in Iran. If you convert from the, being Muslim, which I never was Muslim, honestly, I was secular, and I grew up here. But if you convert to them, you're Muslim by birth, because you're just born there. And if you convert, you will now receive the death penalty.
Americans, the majority of people of United States are Christians, and the Christians, their family are getting killed by this regime, and they didn't care about them. How you can call yourself Christians? How you can call yourself a real follower of Jesus then?
Powerful, man. Where is Tucker Carlson to talk about this? Where is Candace Owens, and they pretend? Why aren't they talking about what's happening to Christians and the oppression? Ali, if you had a message that you can say right now to President Donald Trump, given the situation, what would that be? Donald Trump, we Persian, knows him as our own hero. He's so smart. He's so courageous to deal with this evil. And he's doing his job well. From my last message, I'm so happy because he started attacking them and he killed the supreme leader inside Iran. Yeah. But my message is right now, don't make deal with them and don't make ceasefire with them because they are wounded and they just seek for vengeance now. And
telling you, people inside Iran, they don't want a peace deal with this regime. 40,000 or more didn't die to get a nuclear deal. They want this regime. They want a true regime change. Okay, there has not been a regime change in Iran. We want a true regime change with Reza Pahlavi.
He will take vengeance from people and from your people, from American soldiers, from Israeli soldiers. So there is no other choice. We start this way and we have to finish this. If we leave them like this, they will be more powerful because they have their own supporters like China and Russia, and they have enough oil to feed them and get them more guns and more equipments. And soon or late, they will take vengeance from Americans. And
Guys, they'll never stop because it's a Shia cult that wants to usher in their version of the Messiah, which is the Mahdi, the 12th Imam that's been so-called supposedly in hiding inside of a well, inside of like another dimension, waiting to return. And they believe that the destruction of Israel will bring about his return. So they are never going to surrender. They are never going to stop. And if there's a whole pride thing like Pharaoh, I mean, they can't. There's a certain like Iranian pride or Persian pride. They cannot stop. And so this regime has to go.
Getting vengeance from our own people. I'm getting news from inside Iran about executions every day. Every early morning, thousands of young people get executed by them. If you're a girl and they want to execute you, and if you're a virgin, they will rape you first, and after that they will execute you, because in their beliefs they think the virgin girls, when get executions, they will go to heaven, and they don't want to send them to heaven.
This was an official fatwa.
Guys, there's so many stories from inside of Iran of prisoners being raped, because when you're arrested for fighting against Allah and the regime, you are now halal to the Islamic Guard, and they can do whatever they want with you. There's many harrowing stories.
That came by the Ayatollah, right? He literally made a religious fatwa that says, execute young girls. Before you execute them, rape them.
Yeah, how you can deal with them? I cannot believe.
Is there any real negotiating with them? Is there any basis on which trust could be built with the regime?
With people like them?
Yeah. Is there any way?
But Europeans look like, yeah, we can make a deal with them. Why not? Peace and like that. Europeans, United Kingdom, France, they want to make negotiates with them. They didn't care about anything. They just want oil, and yeah, they didn't care about humanity. Nothing. But our only hope, the Persians' only hope right now is just United States, and actually more than United States, because, brother, I'm so sorry. I have so many respect to your people, to your nation, but I see so many Americans that get brainwashed by media. And I tried so many times to talk with them, to change their mind about Iran. The last message that I get was that you're a Mossad agent, a cheap Mossad agent. That was the last message that I get. I said, oh, come on, I risk everything for just sending you.
That's the left, both the left and the libertarian right.
The message, and you're responding me like that. But the Israelis, they know the threat good as us. I mean, the Persians and Israelis, we know how we can deal with them. They will not surrender. They will not surrender. That's the ideology. They will fight to end. We have to finish them. That's it. We know that. Israelis and Persians know that. But in United States,
they're far away. They're far away, and they don't really see the danger. I want to ask you a question, and then I want to ask Ali a question here. If right now the Prime Minister of Spain would have went to the U.S. with his gay friends and a delegation and would have reached L.A., do you think they're going to be welcomed? They will have a good life?
Yes.
Right?
I don't know.
If you go to Tel Aviv,
Probably.
yeah, they'll have a party. They'll have a party. For some bizarre reason, the Prime Minister of Spain is showing hate and hostility towards America, and is showing love and compassion, understanding towards the IRGC. Now, Ali, if the Prime Minister of Spain would have came right now to Iran with a delegation of 50 of his gay friends, what do you think is going to happen to them?
Civilian gays will be executed, but not in normal way. They will burn you, like with gas or something like that. They will burn gays inside Iran. But our leaders are gay. It's like the other things inside Iran.
Wait.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Say that again.
As a leader of IRGC, but you cannot be gay.
He's talking about Mujtaba, the son of the last Ayatollah who got his head blown off. The cardboard Ayatollah is gay, purportedly.
So as a civilian, you can't be gay, but the leaders are gay. So tell me more about this. Help us understand. It's not joking. It's not joking. Believe me. So, because of my body and because of my power, I'm attractive for gays. And I get so many messages from so many mullahs, top-ranking mullahs inside Iran to, we will pay you and we will bring you a good life. Just come to mosque. They invite me to mosque. Do that in the mosque, not in their houses, at least in the mosque.
Guys, do you guys see this? Let me just share this image. It's pretty funny. This is what he's talking about. This is the gay cardboard Ayatollah, right? So it's just a meme, but there is like real hypocrisy. A lot of these Ayatollahs are secretly gay, and this is the testimony that we're getting. Let me go back to. Let's go back. All right. Ooh, I went forward. Let me go back to where we were.
Yeah, how you can deal with them?
over a country and they are driving private jets from stolen money that is coming from the blood of the Iranians. It's a bunch of perverts that took over a country and they are full with power and lust and hunger for,
I mean, think about Muhammad, the founder of Islam, married a 6-year-old girl and consummated that marriage when she was 9.
masochism. They want to make people.
To me, like, that ends Islam. Like, that's all you need to know about the origins of Islam, and that's game over.
Suffer. And for these kind of people, it's the Epstein Island on steroids. That is what's going on there. Iran have become the Epstein Island on steroids that is run by the mullahs, and their victims right now are not only children, but it's also every Iranian. They're evil, they're masochistic, they're satanic. When you come and you look at it from a spiritual way. And just like our brother, he said, there's Christians there who are suffering. And we have a responsibility for our brothers in Christ in Iran and anywhere under Muslim occupation right now to go and protect them. And you mentioned spot on that isolation mentality that Americans are right now starting to push, which I believe is coming from a lot of shady places, but it's wrong. It's not Christian. It's wrong. It's not human. I'm very disappointed of Europe. It's not human. They should stand with America, with Israel, with Bibi Netanyahu, with Donald Trump, and they should go and say, we are going to make it our responsibility to free these people. People like Ali, like his brothers and sisters, their daughters. We should go and save them.
Ali, are you safe right now?
Not for sure.
Okay.
What are you afraid of? Who might hurt you?
The Shia militias. I'm in Iraq. I can tell you my country. I'm in Iraq, and so many hunters are searching for me here, and I'm just trying to hide myself. I just, by the chance, I met some friends here, and they're trying their best to keeping me safe. But, if someone comes with a gun, it can kill us, all of us. I mean, we have nothing to protect ourselves against the jihadis here. And, that I have no passport, that I cannot move from here to any other place. Even now, I'm illegally here. And so many big problems. But my smile and my comfort is because of my beliefs. And I believe in God protection completely 100%. And
Guys, pray for Ali's safety. Any Christians out there? He's a brother in the Lord. Pray for his safety, please.
I believe that he's keeping me safe until, maybe the only purpose is to be the voice of my people. And maybe after one interview, I will be kept by them or be hunted by them sooner or later. So my situation is so dangerous right now.
What's your plan? What's your plan?
Fighting against the regime in every possible way. And right now I can fight against them in media, and I'm just reading the news and watching the news. I'm actually a brother. I'm not a coward. I don't want to flee. I don't want to leave my country and my friends alone with the regime. I'm just searching for finding a way, maybe joining IDF, maybe joining Americans, maybe joining everyone who wants to fight against them and fight with them side.
Guys, many Iranians have said repeatedly that they would be on the front lines, that if America or Israel helped them, they would go, like hundreds of thousands would rise up, maybe more than that, would go to be the first line of defense against the IRGC army.
Side by side against the regime. That's my plan, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for someone to ask for me.
How can the regime be defeated? Okay, so you're talking about joining the IDF, joining the America. So I hear your heart. I want to take action. I want to fight against this evil.
Yeah.
How can the regime be defeated in your thinking?
Situation is completely different in Iran from Iraq or Afghanistan. Or I see so many people talking about Vietnam, Iraq, and the other operations and the wars, but they didn't know that. In Iraq, people didn't uprising against Saddam regime, and people didn't come to the streets and get killed for calling and asking for help from United States. This is the difference between my country and the other's country. If your soldiers start entering my country, people will welcome them.
Yeah, exactly, guys. Iran is not Iraq. Again, there's a big difference between an Arabic culture that is accepting of Islam versus Iran with a rich Persian culture and history that is antithetical to Islam.
People will join them. My people will fight against the regime in the front line, and they will put your soldiers back. That's the reality in Iran. And this is the reason that why the occupation of Iran will be much easier for United States. Because that 95% is asking for gun, for help, for a soldier to come for them.
Guys, just to clarify, he's not talking about permanent occupation, but temporary occupation to oust the regime, bring about true regime change, which I don't know if the USA is going to do that. I think it's more likely for Israel to do that quietly behind the scenes, but we'll see.
And there is nothing. This is 47 years. They're waiting for a soldier to come and fight for them. And this is
so is that your hope, that the United States will occupy Iran? Is that the hope of the Iranian people?
Not occupation. You know, we have that will destroy our relationship in future. If you want to put your flags in my country, like this is no more Iran, this is United States. No, not like that. You know, just give us freedom, like how you give freedom to European countries in World War II. Or how you act against Saddam, or how you bring freedom to Afghanistan. I'm sorry, my English is not good sometimes.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
so I see. It sounds like you're drawing. I see. So you're drawing a line of distinction between what happened in Iraq and the difference between Iraq and Iran, in the sense that Americans went and paid a heavy price, as we all know, to liberate Iraq, but the people of Iraq, you're saying the difference between that situation and the situation in Iran, if I'm understanding you correctly, is that the people of Iraq were against the Americans. The people of Iraq didn't want to be liberated in the way that Iranians do. And you're saying that 90% of Iranians would do anything to have what happened in Iraq at the hands of the Americans happen in Iran. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
People get killed because they ask for that in the streets. That's the reason that people get killed. That's the reason that people come to streets. They ask help from United States. They know that the regime will kill them before that. They know that. They try to just send you a message that we want you to come here and we will not be like the others. Did you get any news about uprising in Afghanistan before war?
Right.
Or did you get any news about
Iraq?
Uprising, like what happened in my country? All the people come to the streets for asking America, because Mr. Donald Trump sent them a message. I will support you. Come to the streets. And they said, okay, if Donald Trump wants to see us in the street, we will come. We know that the regime will kill us, but we will come to just send him the message that we are okay. Okay, if you want to help us, we will show you that we can risk our own lives for asking help from you, Donald Trump. And they send the message in the best way. We pay the blood for more than 40,000 for
Guys, Trump is correcting the mistakes of Jimmy Carter and every subsequent president. This should have been done a long time ago.
The difference here, and I think that captures exactly, is if America will help liberate Iran, they're helping liberate secular people and Christian people from the oppression of Islam. When Delta Force raided Venezuela, the Venezuelan people thanked them. They even made videos of them. They did not throw fridges or shoot AK-47 on them. If Delta Force would land in Gaza or in Iraq, the Muslims will attack them. And then the government might attack them or might try. In Iran, it's a complete opposite. It's like in Venezuela. When the Delta Force, when America, when they will go in right now, the Iranian people will protect them. They're already fighting. They will thank them because this is a clear uprising by non-Muslims and Christians and atheists and, liberal people and Persians who want to get rid of radical Islam. So actually the minority there is radical Islam that have the guns. And they're oppressing the majority that don't have. So if you end up sending...
Guys, Iran has become the most Islamophobic country in the world right now. And it's not an irrational fear. Islamophobic isn't even the technical word, but you know what I mean. Like, people inside Iran, they hate Islam, the vast majority. And unfortunately, a lot of them have become atheists because of it. So there's a big atheist segment there, but there's also a huge underground Christian church, which Ali, our brother here, is a Christian, but there's a huge underground church. So pray for the church in Iran.
Forces to go and help them. It's not going to be like in Iraq. I'm not saying it's going to be a picnic, but you're going to be actually welcomed by the society. You're going to be welcomed by the people. And the more, it's going to be a domino effect. The more successful you become, the more easier it will become, because you will have the whole nation with you flooding because they're fed up with them. They really want to get rid of that. I completely understand them. I'm a father. I want to have the best for my kids. And you look there, every Iranian father right now that saw his daughter being taken or the neighbor's daughter being taken, just can't wait to get rid of these maniacs, these fanatics that are destroying his country. So I do think it's a very different case And I think Ali made a very good point here.
Yeah, I think that's maybe one of the most important things that our listeners can understand out of this, because in America, we're comparing this to the war in Iraq, we're comparing it to Afghanistan, and there really is no comparison. And most of the Western world don't know what Persians are. Most of the Western world think that Iranians are Arabs that speak Arabic. Or Muslims. Most of the world, the Western world, I see your response to that. And I have friends here that are Iranian, right here in the city. I play chess with them, and they're friends of mine, and they had to flee during the revolution. And, you know, I talk to them, and they don't understand how we don't understand as Americans, how different they are. And you are, Ali, how different you are. So tell me more about your frustration there, what you're saying. I see you're so frustrated.
Actually, we hate to be called like Arabs. I'm not racist. I don't want to be like to show a racist face. But we actually, my people hate to be called like Arabs because we are Persians. You can search about Persians and who Persians are. Different language, different culture, different bloodline, different history, everything, brother. The most difference between us and the Arabs is that the Islam comes from Arabian culture. Islam comes from Arabian culture. Islam is Arabic. Quran is Arabic book. We don't know Arabic. We cannot talk Arabic. Actually, maybe in so many cases, we hate Arabic and Islam because we think that it comes to our lands by sword, by blood, not by our choice.
Yeah, and it did. You know, Persia, Iran used to be predominantly Zoroastrian, and then there were also Jews there that were living there from leftovers from the Jews taken into captivity from Babylon, from like way back during like Daniel's time and Esther's time, and they made a home in Iran. So there were many Persian Jews. I had many Persian Jewish friends growing up. There was just, you know, very kind and like good people. You know, they're just so interesting to talk to someone, you know, a Jew inside of Iran, because it's such a unique convergence of different cultures and religions.
Thousands of years before Islam came from the Bedouin tribes, thousands of years before that, we were God worshippers. Zoroastrianism was inside Iran. We were not paganists or worshipping idols like the Arabs. Thousands of years before that, we were.
That's the thing. The Arabs went into or Muslims went into the Arabic nations, and they fought against the polytheists and brought about the concept that God is one. Whereas in Iran, the Zoroastrians were already monotheistic. That they were one of the first that were monotheistic, along with, I think, you know, ultimately the Hebrew God, book of Moses, basically the first 5 books of the Bible, the Torah, the Old Testament portion of that, you know, they brought about monotheism. But Arab just, you know, Islam went by conquest through the Arab nations in the 6th century, 7th century, 8th century this time, and took over regions of Iran and forced the Arabic religion, which was Islam, upon the Iranian people. But the thing was, with the Iranians, there was a culture of resistance because they kept their own language, they kept their own traditions, they kept their own culture, and were always separate in many ways from Islam until things got radicalized after 1979 with the arrival of the first supreme leader, Khomeini, who would send like 6, 7, 8-year-olds to the front lines to fight in the war with Iraq. And then we get, you know, during Jimmy Carter's time, and when Jimmy Carter allowed the Ayatollah to return and was, you know, really just a weak president, but goes back to all of that time.
We have our own culture. You know, we respect women. In 1,000 years before that, we respect women. And in our culture,
guys, Mohammad Reza Shah, the first Shah, or the last, not the first Shah, but the last Shah of Iran, like when there was an actual Shah, pre-1979, he gave women the right to vote. So he was modernizing the nation. He was bringing about, you know, he was making trade deals with the West. And some people could say there were a lot of disparities in those trade deals and all the complexities behind that. But ultimately, he was modernizing Iran. He gave women the right to vote before some European countries did in the West. So anyway, getting back.
Culture, that's impossible to get two wives. You know, so you're completely brother. You're completely different from Muslims and Arabs in Iran. And people in Iran have no other choice. You cannot change your religion right now. You cannot stand and say, no, I don't want to be a Muslim anymore. You will get shot.
That is real Sharia. That is, by the way, real Sharia.
Guys, and then Tucker Carlson is defending Sharia. If you guys knew what Sharia, you know, from you can't have alcohol, you can't dance, you can't sing unless it's a song promoting the Islamic Republic. You can't hold hands in public if you're not married. You know, women have to cover their hair. I mean, it's disgusting, honestly.
That is when taqiyya is over and the real Sharia is established. That's Iran. That's how it looks like. The enemy of American soldiers in the Middle East is usually Muslim. Now, I know people might hate me for that, but I'm just speaking the truth. I'm not saying all Muslims, but it is Muslim. So if an American soldier would land right now in Syria or in Iraq or in Palestine, he will be killed by the citizens or attacked. If an American soldier or an Israeli soldier would land in Syria in a Druze village or in a Christian village, he will be welcomed, he will be sheltered. If an American soldier would go right now and enter Iran, he will be welcomed and sheltered by the Iranians because they're not Muslims. That's the whole difference here. They want to be liberated. They love America. They love Israel. They want to be free. They are real allies there. I know Tucker Carlson is lying about it, and Candace Owens are literally lying about it, and Sean Ryan and their likes. The real enemy for America and for Judaism and for Europeans and for liberalism is radical Islam. And some of these countries are just full of them. And that is what a lot of Americans, just like you said, are failing to understand regarding this war in Iran.
Guys, please don't underestimate the power of Islam to spread. We're seeing it in the UK. It literally, destroyed a nation overnight. Like Iran was free. It was like people could, it was modern. It was like you had freedom. You could go to the beach. Women were in bikinis at the beach. They were dancing. They're having, regular parties. It was, they're making films. There was a big Hollywood connection there. They had trade. Richard Nixon visited. We had the Shah come to America. It was a very different time until overnight Islam took over the nation. And that's what scares me about America, because we are getting this socialist, Marxist, Islamic nexus and convergence where they're best friends, right? And it's exactly what we saw in Iran with the communists who teamed up with the Islamists to overthrow the Shah.
Iran. It's not like the Iraq war. It's not like in Palestine. When Israel went to bring the hostages from Gaza, the main enemy were actually the Gazans. They were the ones. That's why it was so hard, because you couldn't differentiate who's Hamas and who's not, because the average Gazan saw it as a Muslim religious calling, a jihad, to go and kill you. And sometimes even their children. In Iran, they're not Gazans. They're not Arabs. They're not Muslims. They don't want to kill Americans. You see it. They're so brave that they're risking their life by saying we don't hate America and we don't hate Israel under one of the most oppressive regimes. And I think it will be a terrible sin that we remember in history if we ignore it.
Ali, what would you say to people in the United States that say America should stop this war because innocent lives are being lost in Iran? What's the Iranian perspective on that? And also, there's also that voice, I'll add to that voice that says, America just wants to control the oil, the resources coming out of Iran that you say are going through China and Russia. What's the Iranian perspective on those two things?
Yeah, brother, first you ask about innocent lives. So if people in United States cares about innocent lives, I first have to ask a question from them. Did you know how many civilians get killed by this operation inside Iran? Not even more than 1,000 from the beginning until now. Not even more than 1,000 civilians get killed by the operation inside Iran. And
which operation? The American operation? Okay.
Yeah, American and Israeli operation.
Okay.
They are so clean. They're so clean in their operation. I love that. They're perfect.
They're trying to preserve innocent lives. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And
that's
then,
good to know.
If you want to stop these operations because of innocent lives, so did you know that more than 40,000 people get killed in 2 days by the regime, and the 40,000 people was completely civilians, innocent lives, asking for freedom? And if you care about innocent lives, so you have to support your government now because they are killing the terrorists inside my country. So that's so clear. That's not complicated.
So to sum it up, continuing to see this through to the end will save innocent lives.
Absolutely.
Stopping this will cost innocent lives. Is that right? Is that the Iranian perspective?
Exactly. 100%,
okay.
brother. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
And how about the oil?
And
Americans here,
yeah,
Americans
right
here
now,
are.
yeah,
Yeah, good.
we Iranian people right now, all of our oil goes to China. What we get from China, nothing, zero. Everything gets into government, and the government is a corrupted terrorist government, and they took all the money for themselves, and they paid back to China and take weapons and equipments to kill American soldiers in the different areas in this region, in Iraq, in Yemen, in everywhere. They are just working on killing your soldiers and your people with our oil money. And people inside Iran, believe me, they said, come here and took half of oil for yourself. Is it good? Does it satisfy you?
Yeah, it's like, guys, right now, the Iranian regime is just stealing from the people all of that oil revenue and giving it to China. Can you imagine how the world would be transformed if we actually had trade deals with Iran for oil? If the West could have those trade deals and everything else, it would just be a completely different Iran than the jihadi one that we're seeing today. Imagine if there were freedoms inside of Iran, how many innovations would flourish.
Half our resources for you, and just give us half, and we will build our culture again and our country again. And took that half for your, for payments of these operations and for every.
Guys, those operations, can you imagine having a friendly Iran, a good Iran, a free Iran who's friendly with the West, who's friendly with America, who's friendly with Israel, and would stop funding all of their proxies like Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas, all of them they would dry up. They would lose their funding, and that entire region, and not just the region, but the entire world would be transformed completely with these new developing relationships that are pro-America and pro-Israel. And whatever your thoughts are on Zionism is besides the point. Politically, Israel is an ally of the United States, and we have shared Western values, and we'd much rather have a free Iran with someone reasonable and logical like Reza Shah, or I shouldn't say Reza, he's not the king, but Reza Pahlavi, the son of the king, the crown prince in exile, running the country and giving the people freedom and a voice, and having good relations with America and the West. What would the world look like under such leadership?
Everything that it's right now the oil prices going up in your country, we will give you oil. Don't worry about that. We love to make deal with you about our oil, and yeah, it's good. Why not? We have to sell our oil to a country. Why not? Why not United States?
It sounds very practical.
Yeah, trade deals.
It sounds very practical. Ali, as we're starting to wind down, I could talk to you all day, and maybe we'll talk to you again. The first thing I want to say, just personally, and I know I speak for Simone, and I know I speak for Mansour as well, I hope you stay safe, my friend. That's the first thing. And I hope you and your family will be okay. Truly. I'm sorry for what you and your people have gone through for decades, and I hope that the end is near for this regime. And I say that unashamedly as an American. I am not ashamed to say I hope there's a regime change in Iran, because I'm listening to a voice like this, of this young man who has a life and a future and a family that he cares about. And I care about that. I care about freedom for other people. I care about the way that other people have to live every single day. I care about seeing the end of corruption and the end of evil. So Ali, I'm wishing you well. I'm sorry I went on a little rant there, but it comes from the heart. The other thing I want to ask you, yes, we're gonna get your voice out as far as we can. Where can people find you on social media? And also, is there a way that people can help you personally or your family? I don't know if there is, but I know people will listen and watch this and want to help you the same way that I do. I have no idea how to do that. I know you're in hiding.
Thank you. Helping me to sending my message to the world is the best way to helping me first, because I can't, all of this journey is to sending the message of my people. This is not my message. This is a people's message. This is 90 million people message coming out from my mouth. So the first way for helping me is to sharing my message to everyone who need to listen this. This is normal, a real human. This is not AI. This is not agent. This is not a paid man. You can see my background in my page. I'm a normal man, come from a normal family, come from a normal life. Everything looks normal in my life, was normal until now. So the
How do I
first
find you?
Yeah, the first help is for me is to just helping me to sending my message to the, especially in these days, to United States people, because they have to support their government about the war about Iran. That's the only way that we can get our freedom. That's the only way. They have to support Israel. They have to support their own government about cleaning this region from IRGC and cut off the head of this snake. You know, this is the head of a snake, and this will be the last war of this Middle East. I promise. Maybe I get some message about Turkey, but I think after Iran, they will understand what's going to happen to them after Iran, and they will stop doing like that and speaking like that. And, you know, their leaders are trying to, they have a imagination like Ottoman Empire from 500 years ago, and they want to destroy Israel, but they can see that in their dreams. They cannot do that. You cannot defeat this nation. You cannot genociding the Jews anymore. And
how do we find you on social media?
Yeah, Ali _ Lore. That's my ID on YouTube and on Instagram, but usually Ali the Lore. And the Lore means, Lore is my tribe inside Iran. I'm from Luristan, the ancient Elam in the Bible, in that region.
There you go.
And
I can see you're a beast. I can see, I found you already. Ali the.
There are prophecies about Elam, right, being restored after being destroyed.
Lore. We'll put a link.
The best way, and if they want to help me myself, I'm just seeking for finding a way to fight against the regime in a good way. They are United States enemy. They are Israelis enemy. They are Persians enemy. And I'm one of you. I want to fight with them, and just bring me and put me in the right place. I'm not a coward. I know how to fight with them, and I know how to deal with these evil people. And that's the
Guys, arm the Iranian people. They need some help.
best way to helping me. That's it. Not anything else.
All right. Well, hopefully we can help you with those things. I'm going to ask one more question before we end, which is, I've been following for years. I'm a big fly fisherman, but I know there's fly fishing in Iran. So I want to just change subjects for a minute. Do you know anything about it?
About fly fishing?
Yeah, fishing for trout in Iran.
I don't know what
just
that
personal. Okay.
I don't know
Never
what
mind.
I'm sorry.
It's when the fish are jumping and they're flying, and you're kind of getting them like whap out of the river.
It's okay. Here's what I want. I want you and I to fly fish in Iran someday together, because I know it's there.
I hope so.
And,
I hope so, brother.
free Iran.
And with Khalifa.
Of course.
You know, I'm just, I have a dream to, Iran will be the next Christian country and the next target for tourists for United States and Israeli people.
Guys, I'm telling you, huge Christian population underground in Iran. And guys, bless these two guys for doing this, Mansour and this brother here. Just pray for them, and that God blesses them in Jesus Christ.
Beautiful, safe place to visit. That's my dream.
Wow.
From your lips to God's ears. Let's hope that it happens.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Ali. Mansour, I'll give you the last word. Mansour, is there anything you want to say?
I just want to add and say that from every possible reason, America helping the Iranian people to get rid of this government is the right thing to do. From a religious perspective, you're helping Christians and oppressed liberal citizens of the world to get out of one of the worst oppressions under the face of this earth. From a strategic point of view, you're actually cutting out one of the strongest allies of your enemies, and you're making it your own ally. So if Iran is on the side of America and of the West, Iran is not on the side of China and Russia. The people of Iran, they love us. So in every perspective that you can think about right now, it's the right thing to go and help them. You're helping Christians and you're helping secular people to get rid of radical Islam. And you're also stopping one of the worst alliances that happened right now towards our enemies, who are stealing. All their oil right now has been stolen, taken to China and to Russia, and the Iranians are starving. And they're telling you, hey, set us free. We'll give you half of it. Anyway, we're not getting any of it right now. So from any perspective you can think about right now, and also you're cutting the head of world terrorism. The octopus that is right now running world terrorism and destroying the Middle East, you're taking him out of the picture. So it's a win-win in every possible way, and it's the right thing. And I understand why there's a lot of anti-against it, because right now there's a lot of agents of the Muslim Brotherhood of the Iranian regime inside of America that are trying to push a narrative against that. I really hope that the message that Ali here is trying to send will reach the right people in the United States and in Israel, and will keep help and finally free them.
Thank you. So let's all hope for that. Thanks for tracking with us. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Mansour.
Guys, what a great stream again. Thank you for these guys for sharing, and for Ali for risking his life. I just want to also get you to subscribe to Ali's channel. We've got it here on YouTube. Let me share it for a minute. All right, let me just share a couple last final things, and then we will go ahead and close out for the day. And by the way, before we do that, before I share, I just want to share Ali's channel. I want to pray for him. I want to bless him in the Lord. And I also want to just very briefly talk. I'm talking hopefully 5 minutes here, and then we'll close out, or 10 minutes. And but Hissam Alaeddin was also killed and arrested for using Starlink. We just want to share about that for a minute. So let me go ahead and do a share screen here. All right, give me 1 minute, guys. So here is Ali Majd's channel. Let me just minimize here so you can really see it. All right, so go ahead and subscribe there. And I just want to say, Ali, thank you, brother, my brother in Christ. We're praying for your safety. And I just pray that God keeps you safe and blesses you, and that you can keep spreading your message. What a blessing, it was for me. So again, thank you for everything that you're doing. God bless and God protect you. You've got a Persian brother here in the USA, and I just pray that God always keeps you safe. All right, let's just close out today with this man, Persian man, Iranian man. He was tortured to death for using Starlink during the internet blackout. So basically, I think it just happened like a couple of days ago, like yesterday. A couple of weeks ago, he was executed. Well, yeah, he was arrested a couple of weeks ago, but wasn't he just arrested or executed like recently? So I think that was like today. Or yesterday, or reported according to Iran News. But basically with Starlink, what happened is that the thing with Starlink is that Elon Musk was really, really helping the Iranian people, the protesters, the unarmed protesters inside of Iran during that 48-hour blackout. And he's still purportedly, I believe he's still, helping with Starlink, because while pro-regime people inside of Iran can go to their government and petition them to share online or to share on social media. They can do that right now, apparently. There is pro-IRGC propaganda that's being played on YouTube channels currently. But most people, your average person like Ali, can't just upload to YouTube, and then especially during that, or Instagram or wherever, and especially during that 48-hour blackout where they killed tens of thousands of people, they couldn't just get online. So Elon Musk, who's just, a champion of free speech, gave them access to Starlink. That's how we get uploaded videos from inside Iran. But anyway, guys, I really just came on tonight or today to share the story of Ali Majd, Ali Majd. If you want to look him up, go to his channel and subscribe. But I also, there's so much to share for me, from, the culture, the music, the people. This has been a journey of self-discovery for me inside of my understanding, my connection to Iran as an Iranian-born American citizen who's living in diaspora, living outside of Iran. And really, I'm an American now, but I'm rediscovering my heritage, my history, and it's been a great journey. So I'd love to come back sometime and share more about that. And then lastly, before we close out the stream, be sure to tune in tomorrow night, Sunday night. I'm going to have a friend of mine named Megan, and I believe Wendy just messaged me and wants to join as well. So standard bearer, Sister Wendy, and then Megan from the Eclectic Journalist. We're going to be talking Sunday night. I believe it's at 8 Eastern, about Erica Kirk and the attacks on Erica Kirk as Charlie Kirk's grieving widow. Just a quick thing on that. We're not going to be going over like her personal like, I don't know if I'd say, like, I'm not going over to say she's good or bad, but the attacks against Charlie's widow have to stop. If you think about it, if you're trying to honor the memory of Charlie Kirk, you don't do that by attacking his grieving widow. So I'm going to have a couple people on with me to discuss. We'll do a long form discussion. So hope you can tune into that, 8 o'clock Eastern on Sunday, and subscribe to the channel. And more importantly, spread this message and share. So Ali's message from inside of Iran, having escaped from Iran and going to Iraq, where he's in hiding now and his life is in danger, to get this message out. Pray for his safety. He is a brother in the Lord. And we just thank God and thank the Lord Jesus, and God bless you all. I'll see you soon. Good night or good day.